other link here. Okay, let's see if that works. All right, folks, I'm just helping get this kicked off. It's not yet Friday night in Hawaii, but I'm just trying to help us get a good tournament off today by putting out this alert. So I hope that'll work and give folks a chance to play today. Let's open up this link here. Wow, it's like super hot. Where's that heat from? No surprise. Okay, Chess Dojo Club. Put that in the info. Okay, so there's like the link for folks on YouTube. And yeah, if you scroll down from the clubs page, you can find the tournaments like that. Let me grab that link. I'm just going to put up all the alerts and announcements I can here. Send that. Hey, Sanyal. I am doing great. I'm enjoying something this week that you are perhaps unfamiliar with. I'm on vacation this week from Chess Dojo. Like almost vacation, you know. I still recorded one podcast and chit-chatted a little bit with the other folks in the dojo about a couple topics online, answering a few messages here and there, but I'm basically not streaming or recording videos this week. Yeah. So yeah, it's the last week of summer before my kids start school again. And we didn't sign them up for any camp or anything this week. And yeah, in a few days I'll be home and school will start. And then we'll have more streaming. All right. Checking the tournaments. See if we got any takers. And yeah, how about you? How are you all doing? How are you, Sanyal? How are you, Angel? Let me show you something here, Sanyal. Look at this. You see this in the screen capture here, this rating down here? I played 2 more Blitz games, and my rating is at an even new higher all-time high. You've had another long week, yeah. You're going to stream your chess games yourself? Good. Very good. Enjoy it. I'm playing so little, you know. I've played like 20 games in the last 6 months and just going up. I think the less I play, the more I care about the games I play, and then the better I play them or something weird. I know sometimes with like classical tournament chess, it was actually like the more you play, the more you get into the swing of things, and then the better I would play. But somehow Blitz, it's too easy to play, you know, 200 games or 2,000 games, and then none of the games seem that important or something. I don't know. Anyway, playing 2 games at a time is going great. While we're sitting around for 5 minutes for people to join these tournaments, I'll show you the most incredible / terrible game, which I think is kind of like what got me here. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this game here. You played OTB tonight. That's great, CMCK. Okay. So one thing about when I play online, you know, Blitz or Rapid or whatever, Sanyal, is like I almost never come back from a bad position, you know? You saw Kostya. That's great. My colleague and friend, yeah. That's cool. I basically, you know, like I often get good positions, but I almost never come back from a bad position. So look at this game here, where I completely mess up this opening. You know, I've spent my time playing c5, c4, only to trade the pawn, and actually a3, b4 is not bad for white in the French defense. And you'll see it, like, it gets worse and worse because I don't really know what to do about how bad the position is for a while. So we get this kind of a thing. I'm just desperate for some counterplay. So when knight f4 comes, I decide to just go for it and allow knight e6 because my position's been so bad for so long. But I should have played king f7 to not give up the e6 pawn. But I go for this, right? So at least I've got something I'm trying to play for with this a pawn. My opponent has to castle to avoid bishop b4, but they do, and then they've got time to do whatever they want next. So they can always trade on f8 and take the a pawn, so I defend the a pawn, and the queen comes in. I'm just losing everything here. Very nice moves from my opponent for a while. Queen g3, this move was really strong actually, threatening queen c7 and freezing the knight because of queen g6. So now I sort of can't move anything. That was a very nice move. I just came back to keep the queen out. My opponent came in with the knight, forced their way in, and this is like as good as the position gets for them. Here, white could finish the game off with knight f6 check, and then queen d7 mate. So this is like as bad as a position could be. Plus, if they don't find it, they're still winning anyway, right? Like I can't move any pieces, and it's been that way for a long time. Okay, they do something else, which is also crushing. Sorry, my computer is just so dead. So they go knight g6, right? This is what they come up with. And the reason they missed the mate in 2 is probably because they saw this, right? Which wins a whole rook, threatening checkmate on the rook. I just keep going. I even drop my A pawn. I'm down a whole rook, but sort of trying to trap that knight. I offer a queen trade down the knight. But, you know, there's some dream of a hope of queen d6, rook d6 covering the knight square, but rook a8 check should win for white pretty easily, I think. After queen d6, rook d6. But they're kind of scared of it. They let the pawn get one more step. And then they force taking these pawns here with check, which feeds me that knight at least, even though I lose another couple pawns. Now look at this position. Super dead, but the most hopeful it's been in a while, right? Because they have to deal with this pawn here. It's not easy. They're tempted to trade off into this endgame. But I have this move here, and they can't stop rook e1. Saw that coming. And now here we're down to 10 seconds each, so normally I would just sort of panic and fall apart and lose on any side of any endgame, but instead of panicking, I went for this rook h1 move, giving up my passed d-pawn, and for the first time all game, this position's drawing. Amazing, right? So much defense. Now I just go rook a7, b7 really, really fast. I ignore everything they're doing, and then boom, check. Check! Oh, and suddenly, wait, what's white supposed to do? That's checkmate coming. They defend it with the king. Rook here. Oh, if they go g5, there's rook h4 mate. And here they just timed out and lost. But because they can't find any moves, white's lost now because the king's cut off from the passed pawn. It's just, you know, king e6 and f5 and stuff at some point. Or whatever else black wants to do from here. What happened there, right? So, looks like the tournament's just kicked off, so I hope everybody enjoys their games. That was the kind of thing that never, ever, ever, ever happens to me, you know?
Yeah, it is for streaming.
Oh, only for 1 minute. No comebacks ever in my life. And that one, I mean, I could have resigned forever. A6. A6 Queen's Gambit declined. I just studied this last week. I have a repertoire for white against it now for myself for the first time. This is all correct by 316. This is all my current repertoire for white. So props 316. I know you're probably just figuring stuff out for yourself, but that's straight up all the best moves. You can still join a chess lover. It's just starting, and the point is just to play one game. You know, the point is just to play one game. You don't need to get in faster or slower or whatever. These are 90 plus 30. It's not really like a tournament per se where you play a few games and try and win the tournament. It's just a place to play one good practice game. Oh, you were in your game and you didn't hear a ding. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. That's not good. Yeah. Do you have any chance to, like, restart or get back in or something? It's so hard to, yeah. So hard to start these tournaments, honestly. for the tournaments, for the tournament director, for the players, it's always, like, canceling things. You got another game? Great. All right. So e3 good. Bishop f5. That's the point of playing c6 so early. So this pawn's not hanging in case of queen b3. I don't know what white's supposed to do about this move, but I'm going to make a guess. My guess is white should answer with knight e5. That's my guess. But I don't think I included this in my file, so I'm going to go add it right now. Please excuse me for a moment while I update my opening file. kind of an amateur of openings and opening files. All right, so in this position was bishop f5. Gotta look at, okay, bishop f5. And now I'm gonna guess what the best move is for white. So let me think. Queen b3, b5, I don't really see where that leads. Queen b3 is often the answer to an early bishop f5. You could play simple bishop d3 with the idea of bishop d3, queen d3, just getting a tempo of development out of the recapture. And they've spent a tempo on a6, so you'd be quite a bit ahead on time here with white if you played bishop d3. But the only pawn break is e4, which is going to lose some time, and normally not that powerful a move. So I'd rather do something else with my time. Oh, white just went for knight e5, huh? I don't know why it's showing my name here now instead of 316's name. That is so buggy. There we go. So bishop d3 is 316's choice, like I was talking about. My thought is knight e5. Use the tempo we have to either play queen f3 or like f4 and g4, something super mega aggressive. So now we're going to check the answer. Load up an engine in another window and see if I've like learned anything in a certain sense. You know, in a sense, you've only really learned something when you can apply it. You know what I mean? Like when the stuff you've looked at, you're able to apply. Okay, computer says bishop f5 is not one of the best moves, and I'm wrong. Knight e5 is only the second best move. The best move is queen b3, b5, and then knight e5. Wow. So why is it better to throw in queen b3 and then play knight e5? I guess because there's no knight bd7. I mean, that makes sense. The move I was expecting if white played knight e5 here was knight bd7, and the computer says yes, that's the best move, and then you can either trade or go queen f3. Right, okay. So totally playable is the following. You go knight e5, knight here, now you trade. This is what one of the things I was thinking about. The bishop has to recapture like this, and then you go here, taking the diagonal from it. But you played a knight trade, you know, so it's not amazing for white. It's decent. But look, here's the strongest. You played queen b3, which looks like after b5 you're getting no traction. a4 is leading nowhere. But now you go knight e5, and they don't have knight bd7. And that somehow, even though your queen's going to have to just be repositioned at some point, right? That's enough to say that white is quite a bit better. That's cool. So they have to like fight your knight over here or something. a4, beautiful move. They can't let the queen into b7. But now if they ever trade your knight, you don't need the f-pawn to back it up. If they ever trade your knight, this pawn will be dangling. So it'll be another problem for them. And then after like h6, knight g3, bishop back, f4 with a beautiful position. That's really interesting. Okay. So bishop f5, bishop d3, trade, knight d7, a4 to stop b5. But a4 is not going to be that amazing. Okay, let's go here. Someone else should come soon, Sanyal. Someone else should come soon. All right. I got to leave you guys here and get back to my vacation. Have a lovely tournament, everybody.